What's up? We have a special guest in the house today, Mr. Sean Gibbs from our Eastern Shore office. Hello.
How are you doing today?
Doing very good, very good. I asked Sean to come in and just kind of have a conversation about, things that lead you to find out what works and what doesn't in your business as a real estate agent in this market, in particular. But he also has a lot of years of experience in the business because this isn't his first rodeo in this business. Is actually his second time in the business, and he was very successful before when the market was a different environment, and so he has awareness about what was working then and can compare and contrast that to kind of what he has felt now with getting going as a real estate professional in 2016 in the real estate industry in Mobile. So we'll kind of start with that, and this is just a discussion. This isn't like a formal anything, but we just want to kind of have a dialogue with what you feel is attainable, what's realistic on goals and stuff like that. And maybe from the standpoint of like a new agent, what they can expect and what they should kind of expect from themselves, like setting their goals for their first year in real estate. Like, what is actually a real production goal that's realistic about like how many I'm going to sell or how much volume that might equal, that kind of stuff. So, thinking about that is key to a lot of people, because they get in the business and they think, even if they're really good, sometimes their goals can be set too high. Would you agree?
I would, absolutely.
And that's really because there's really nothing to base this off of. And until you get in and you learn how the game is played, and you see, wow, I am truly cultivating business, right, through relationships. And that's not like a product that I can just sell real quick and have a transaction and it's done. This is a relationship building game. So you have, when I say that is, this is like, an understanding after you're in the game for a couple of months, first couple of months, you realize, oh, this is what they mean by building momentum, and so I guess give us like a short version of like the difference between, what your expectations were, when you first started your first time and versus this time.
When I started the first time, I had actually more limited expectations. I didn't know what to expect getting in the business, and of course they tell you to get your sphere of influence together, and those people will jump on board, and everybody will buy a house from you, and that's definitely not the case. And what you said a minute ago about building momentum, you've got to change people's expectation of what they expect from you and what they're trying to think of the word, how they perceive you. So
You're talking about your sphere.
Correct. The people you already know, and they, no matter what you did before, they see you as that person, and you've got to get them to look at you as a real estate salesperson. And so the first time I started, again, the second time had a much clearer game plan, but the first time kind of shot off in different directions on how to get them to believe in me as a realtor. And the expectation probably was pretty minimal. I wanted to make $25,000 a year, and
this was in let's just say like 2000.
2000.
Okay.
And so very limited. Just moved here, and so I mailed out occasionally, sent a postcard out occasionally, and had no clear marketing goals. And so I didn't. What's the thing? If you don't plan to succeed, what's the little?
If you don't plan to succeed, you plan to fail.
There you go. And that's what happened. I had no clear plan, and so I hit my expectation, which was really, I had no idea what my expectation was, and I hit it directly.
You nailed it.
Absolutely.
They say if you aim at nothing, you will hit it with amazing accuracy.
And I definitely did. And so, starting the second time, having looked back at that, I've got much clearer goals and expectations that I think are very obtainable. And I've got a clearer picture of how to get from point A to point B.
So with that being said, like, you know, take like where you were in 2000, you were just starting out, and, you know, fast forward to 2016 and, you know, where your mindset was for what you were going to do this year. I'm sure your goal, you know, not because of the adjustment and what the, dollars, you know, how much it takes now to live versus back then, but what I'm talking about really is like, you already knew how to play the game.
Sure.
The only thing that's really changed is technology, and technology has an effect on like marketing,
Absolutely,
mainly, but systems and processes as well. But because of the understanding of the difference between, you know, what you had to work with in 2000 versus what you had to work with in 2016, did that have an effect on your goal for the year of like how many or what your production was going to be? Like you were taking into account, you know, with the tools I have now in technology, you know, that's also going to help me when you team that up with what I already know about this business.
absolutely, and using both of those technologies. So back in 2000, social media wasn't where it was.
Actually, it wasn't around, but
Has it been that long ago?
Yeah, no, it wasn't. There was no Facebook. Was 2004.
Yeah. So that wasn't even.
We're old.
Yeah, we are old, but that wasn't even out there. So phone calls and mailers were what you could do to touch, and really when you do that, unless you blanketed a neighborhood or sent out mass amounts of postcards out in the netherworld, you only could touch the people you knew really, and so it limited it. Today's world with any number of social media, which posts could exponentially not only hit your immediate followers or friends or however social media you use, but it also can get put out to their friends and their friends and their friends. So my expectations were greater because my target audience, my targeted audience, could be bigger because of social media and the technologies we have today.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, they're both good things. Using the telephone and sending out our direct mailers, which we do here, are great personal touches as well as expanding through social media and search engines such as what we have here at Better Homes and Gardens and Zillow, Realtor.com, and all the other numerous things that you can put on the internet.
Right. So even though we have all this technology and everything like that, would you still agree that there is no replacement for the phone calls and the visits, spending time, with somebody, developing that relationship? There is no technology that can replace that?
Not at all. People still want to be, have that personal contact. I found that they want it, but then they want both. They want to be able to text, but they also want to talk to you every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
It's irreplaceable. The mailings are a constant reminder, but the phone calls are a must. To get somebody on the phone and actually have that conversation with them when you don't shorten it up with text or social media is very, very important.
Why do you feel it's so hard for so many agents to pick up the phone on a daily basis and touch base with people and feel comfortable with that? Like, why does that seem to be like the big obstacle for the industry in general? Because not only does it seem like agents don't like to make calls, but they also have developed a bad reputation on not even answering the phone as well. Why do you think that is?
I think it's an irrational fear.
There's never a wrong answer. This is
Sure.
What do you think your opinion is?
It's an irrational fear. It's the fear of this repercussion to that is non-existent. It's rejection. It's a no. It's whatever it is that you make up in your mind and it doesn't ever happen. It's funny because once you get past that and you start making those calls and you start going through your database and just picking up the phone and asking somebody how their day is and complimenting them on something, and then at the end of it or during it, reminding them what you do and asking them for their help. People want help.
Right.
Your sphere of influence, the people want to help you be successful. Mm-hmm. And we just have this fear of asking. And what's the worst thing that can say? No. And every sales thing I've ever been to, you got to get your nose to get to yes. So I think that's what it is. I had when I first started, and we went for before I didn't really have a marketing plan, so I tried everything. And one of those things was just knocking on for sale by owners' doors. And I would make a list I would have everything on it. I'd have their names, I'd have the addresses, I'd draw a map, and I knew exactly where I was going, and I'd get it all ready, and I'd get in my car, and I'd go to lunch, and I'd skip the whole thing. It was an irrational fear that somebody was going to come out and get angry at me for going to knock on their door. And then once I actually started doing it, the worst that I can say, not interested, and they close the door. I mean, it's an irrational fear that realtors have, that we are bugging somebody, I guess.
Or that it's a sales call.
Correct.
And nobody likes sales calls, of course, but I've never felt like that's what that was. Personally, when I was talking to people, I never felt like the purpose for my call was to, it be a sales call. It was a check-in call on the relationship, kind of. You can't assume or expect that they remember you always, even if they're related to you, and you have to give people a reason, in my opinion. You have to give them a reason to want to work with you.
Sure.
You can't think that just because you're doing well, or that you might be known, that they know that, number one, but number two, like that they feel that. Sure. and that would draw them to you, because they might not have any connection to anything that says, hey, they must be doing good. Like, no, they might not have anything in their life on a daily basis that actually crosses their path that ties it in, so even though you're rocking it out and stuff, you can't assume or expect that they have a clue, right? Would you agree?
I would absolutely agree. And to add on that, a lot of people don't know how it works. And, I run into people daily who, are you able to sell this property because it doesn't have your name on the front? And constantly reminding them during your relationship calls that you like referrals, you would like to help them.
Mm-hmm.
It leads to a question. You assume everybody knows how this works,
right.
And a lot of times they don't.
Keyword, you said you assume.
Exactly. You don't want to do that.
You never want to assume or expect anything.
Absolutely.
I say that 1,000 times a day here. It seems like it's become the joke. Not necessarily a joke, but it's just become kind of like my mantra, that I want people to understand. Never assume or expect anything in this business.
Sure.
You have to do things that put things in line, in order, in process, in motion, that you want to happen. And it's not like I'm not meaning it from a manipulative standpoint. I'm meaning it like energy creates energy. And people are drawn to certain things.
Absolutely.
People are drawn to activity, that somebody that seems busy and stuff like that, when they see it or they know about it. But there could be all kinds of stuff going on around somebody who's got a lot of success going on. But if they're not aware, because they never get a call or a visit or something in the mail or an email or anything,
they can't act on it.
How could they? And that's why you never assume or expect if you want to build momentum with you're dealing with your sphere, your database. So, all right, next question. I want to throw a couple of things out, and it's like a flash round. You say yes or no.
Okay.
Kind of like, is this something that is, let's just frame it around, is this a non-negotiable for your business? Do you need this as a real estate agent, no matter where you're at? Is this a non-negotiable, something you should have in your business? So,
okay.
No right or wrong answer. This is just Sean's flash round.
Okay.
All right, ready?
Yep.
Facebook.
Yes.
Without a doubt?
Without a doubt.
Why?
Everybody's on.
That's where everybody's at.
Everybody's on.
It's like the new phone system.
Absolutely.
Right? Everybody's connected. Okay. Doing like a monthly mail out.
Absolutely. Non-negotiable for sure.
Why?
It is another way to stay top of mind with people, especially when there's something valuable in it. And when they go out to their mailbox and they get something personal from you with our item of value like we do,
mm-hmm.
I really think it does keep you, I hate the word top of mind. I'm not a big Queen phrases around, yeah. But it does keep you there, especially if you're consistent with it and stay with it every single month. I think it's invaluable.
Okay. Agent website.
I'm in the middle.
You're in the middle?
I'm in the middle.
Do you agree that there's a certain, you need it for a certain purpose?
I do.
Do you think people have a misconception about what a website is for or how to use it?
Absolutely.
Is that would you say that that's why a lot of people don't get results from their website?
I do, and I think, and this is me, I think a lot of people want to compete with major search engines out there for finding homes, and I don't think that's possible. They have more money than I do.
From the agent level.
So
yeah.
Realtor.com and all these other things, they have a much higher budget than I'm ever going to be able to spend. So I think a website should be used for informational purposes. It should tell about me. It should tell about my company. It should tell what we're about. They should be able to find me. But I don't necessarily think that I need to pour every resource I have into it for them to be able to find every home possible through that, because they're not going to it anyway.
Right. I feel like there's numerous reasons why you need an agent website, but I think so many people don't understand how that all works, so they don't know that they don't know.
Sure.
So like they're spending money blindly based off hope.
Sure.
Like they think that, kind of like building a house in a neighborhood. You put that house there, everybody knows that house is there, right?
Absolutely.
Website, not the same thing. You build a website, it's kind of like looking into space. It's just another star.
Sure.
But you can't tell if it was there or not before, because really you can't see it, because you come back in 1 hour and what you were looking at was different, right?
Absolutely.
But the main point with a website, in my opinion, for agent level, is it's the connection between you and your client when they search for property.
Sure.
So you need to have a good website that allows them to search for property. Okay, but you drive your traffic there.
Correct.
Okay, don't put a site up and think that people just come through like you put in a store at the mall, so they're just walking there already and they see it and come in. They don't know it exists unless you give them a reason to come. That's where inbound marketing and all this content marketing stuff became really popular with blogs.
Sure.
Because it gave them a reason. They post it on Facebook, they click it, it brings them to the website. That's how you get them there. But one of the main things I always use it for, period, was my clients. This is where I need you guys to look for property, is my site, and here's
Sure.
why. It's got everything in the market, no matter what company it's with, of course. You just have to explain it more
Sure.
than you do now. That it's not just my listings, it's every listing, every company's listing. But when you like a listing, or you save a listing, or you make a comment or something like that, because I control that environment and I have a back end that I can keep up with everything.
Absolutely.
When you like something, I know. It lets me know, so I can serve you better. So that was always my big thing of why you need a website.
Sure.
Is just to make sure that you control the search environment for the people that you are working with primarily, and the people that you're going to be working with.
Sure.
That's where you send them, and you tell them why. You got to educate them, right?
Absolutely.
They don't see the value unless they know why.
You got to lead.
People don't like to be told what to do, but they will do it if they understand.
Absolutely.
So, okay. We talked about Facebook, and we said yeah, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, what's your opinion about Facebook? Like your regular profile page versus like if you set up a business page?
I think you need both. I think people need to connect with you on a personal level, which would be your main page. They need to see you interacting with your family and your kids and your daily activities. But I think a business page is important as well.
Right.
And of course, if somebody goes and likes my business page, they're doing it for a reason. They're interested in what my business is, or they're interested in real estate, and it gets them there. And you don't want to overload your personal page with tons and tons of pictures of houses and everything else. So it gives them the option to float between the two. I actually see more activity on my personal page, however. But
Yes,
I do think that you do have to have a professional page that's out there as well.
Right.
But I do, when I get leads, from my sphere, it's a lot of it's coming from my personal page.
Yeah. Well, yeah. My take on it is, Facebook has their algorithm, and their algorithm is designed to give your personal profile page way more exposure to your sphere that it's connected to. Used to the pages, the business pages and stuff like that. If somebody liked it, everybody that liked it, every time you posted something, everybody that had liked your page it was in their feed and they got a notification, right? And they changed that. Actually, they changed it a couple years ago. And because Facebook was trying to find a better financial model so they could go public and be worth some money. But with that being the case, what I see a business page now, because the way they changed their algorithm, I think the numbers were like, on your personal profile page, when you post something, like 10% of your friends will see it in their feed usually. On a business page, when you post something, like, it doesn't matter if you got 100,000 people that liked it, only about 3% are even going to know you did, because it doesn't send them a notification. It just kind of, it's weird how it kind of works. So if you notice the difference between the two, though, on a profile page, you can't boost.
Correct.
You can't do ads. You can't promote something. And that business page, that's what they set that up for. And the good thing about the way they did their ads manager now and stuff, it doesn't matter if you've got 50 likes or you have 50,000 likes. When you have a post that's good content that you're trying to drive people to your website or whatever, you can boost that and you can create an audience in the back end of how you want to target it, and you can target it by the demographics and area and all that stuff, and then you just put money to it. So you don't have to worry about how many likes you have anymore. It's just like it's kind of like your office, kind of like this is just where you do business, and this is where you tell the story of your life kind of on your profile page.
And it's the new direct mail. It's I can take a listing and I can figure out what demographic I'm trying to sell to, and then Facebook can put it in front of those people with ease. I mean, it's very, very simple, and the cost for marketing that way is extremely low. So I think the profile page, and then something you may be on your list for later, but something we had talked about before was the groups, and I love the groups.
Yeah,
they really, and you're talking about posts getting in front of everybody with the group. Everybody's notified, and it pops up in your notifications as soon as something's posted in there. So if you can add all your clients to a group, it's the best form to me. I mean, it gets right to them without having to get lost in the Facebook quagmire.
Right. Yeah, because you can actually do an ad from your page with your business page or whatever, and target just the people that like your page.
Sure.
Or make it irrelevant and go to just anybody who's 25 to 30 that likes iPhones, that lives in this zip code.
And a blue car.
Yeah, and a blue car. Yeah, I mean, they get crazy with how much you can actually do on it for sure. All right, well, I guess the last thing that I wanted to just run by you and get your opinion on is time planning, time management. I think a lot of people don't realize how important that is to their day.
Absolutely.
And I think what a lot of people miss is the value of, or the difference between what technology can do for you versus how you have to understand the theory of time management to begin with. We've got this layout, and basically this layout is a breakdown of how you actually manage your day as a real estate agent, the things you have to keep up with, and in a way that we put together through 10 years doing the business of the flow of your day and the things that as an agent you need to keep up with, right? This is to develop the routine for a new agent, and I think that's where the key part of being good at time management is. You need to learn first an effective routine and a reason of why behind it, right?
Absolutely.
So then, and I say like 30 days, print one of these sheets out for 30 days and do it for 30 days so that you get that routine in your head.
Absolutely.
And go, hey, this is how I manage my time. So now I can use technology like an app or whatever to do that. But that routine allows you to be able to evaluate, hey, do I need to use this app or this app or this app? Because how would you know what app you need to use if you don't even know what you need the app to do or manage? And because there's a lot of great ones out there, there's a lot of ones that aren't that good but look good, but they don't manage everything you need. One that I like to use is called TickTick, and it's actually free. TickTick. I think Google actually bought them.
Oh, wow.
After after the developers built it, like they got bought by Google, but it's free, and it's an app. It's on every platform, for mobile, and it's web based. So I can sit on my computer here, and when I put something on it, it's automatically on my phone or my iPad as well. So it's one point of entry, one environment, but it also has enough depth, just enough depth to handle everything that I need it to handle. And you can upgrade or whatever, and I think it's like $2.99 a month for the upgraded version, and it handles everything. But I've been using that for about 2 years now, and actually built it into our training here, for people to use, and it's done great. But like, I guess my point being with asking you about the time management, the difference between you 16 years ago and now. I'm sure, because you had businesses in between that when you got out of business, you had very successful businesses. And one of the things that I'm sure you can attribute to the success of those businesses was your ability to manage your time.
Absolutely.
So is that even a negotiable thing being a real estate agent?
Not in the slightest. It is one of the most important things, and being a realtor, we get pulled in a lot of directions. And so time management is probably the most important thing that we do. And I do a lot of reading, and if you read a lot about what successful people do. Across the board, planning the day before what you're going to do the next day is probably on everybody's list. So I took it, I didn't used to, but I took it to heart this time. And I actually sit down every night, and this is non-negotiable, every night, 30 minutes before I go to bed. And I plan out my following day.
Yeah.
And I couldn't live without doing that. And then I go, now I picked up TickTick as well, and I go through on the computer, and after I've written it out, I put it all on the calendar, and boom, I'm going for the next day.
Yeah.
Which is, it's a great app, and thank you for introducing me to it.
Yeah.
And I use it.
Well, it integrates into your calendar app and everything as well. So when you put it in one place, it'll actually put it in the other ones in case you're using that. But a lot of people I've seen, they're like, oh yeah, I use my calendar app on my phone to manage my time. That's good for appointments and things that are actually attached to a time and a date. But that's not a to-do list manager at all. And so you need these things in a time management app, if you ask me. Something that can manage to-dos, both personal and business. Something that you can put in your appointments that are attached to a time and date. Even a to-do that needs to be assigned to a time and date. Something that can help you keep up with your inventory on a light level. Like, here's what's active, so it's in front of you. Or here's what needs to be done, and can separate those out in the list and stuff, and that's what it does very well. And here's what's pending, and here's what's closing, and you can kind of keep up with it, with the functionality of TickTick. And that's what I've seen to really be able to achieve with that, and that's why I'm just a big fan of that.
Part of time management is not getting caught up in your time management, and so TickTick is just simple enough. It gets the job done without having you to spend entirely too much time organizing everything. I'll go down the road, and it's got the microphone function, and I'll set a to do just talking to the phone real quick, and I can go back and organize it later. Forward the emails, which is great. If there's an email that comes in that I want to deal with later, it's got a very easy function where you can forward it to your email address. It sets it right in your to-do list, and then I can go back and not only
from your inbox,
from my inbox, and I can go back and look at it and then prioritize it later.
That's right.
And see when I have to deal with it. So my inbox is empty.
Yeah, so exactly. That's the key too. So many agents live out of their inbox, and that is such a reactive way of life instead of a proactive way of life. And honestly, it creates a lot of stress and undue anxiety.
Absolutely.
Well, cool deal, man. Thank you for talking to us today. And check us out on further episodes on just getting down to business with real agents and the real market of the real estate industry. So we'll see you next time.
Good luck, everybody.
Rock and roll.